Did you know that during the Great Depression, my ideas changed the course of the global economy? I am John Maynard Keynes. With my general theory, I redefined the state's intervention in the economy. But despite my achievements, I experienced the anguish of World War I. I was born in Cambridge in the late 19th century, into a distinguished academic family. My father, John Maynard Keynes, was an economist and a professor at the University of Cambridge, while my mother, Florence Ada Keynes, was an author and one of the city's first female mayors. For a young age, I was a brilliant student. I was educated at Eton and later at King's College, Cambridge, where I studied mathematics. While studying, I had the opportunity to be a member of the Cambridge Apostles, an elite debating club. There, I established connections with figures such as Lytton Strachey and Virginia Woolf, who would later be part of the famous Bloomsbury Group. Regarding my love life, it was diverse and rich in experiences. Before marrying, I had several relationships with men, which was quite controversial at that time. However, in the mid-20s, I married the Russian ballerina Lydia Lopakova, with whom I shared many years of happiness. My youth was filled with learnings, intellectual explorations, and deep connections, all of which laid the groundwork for the revolutionary economic theories I would develop later. One of my most emblematic achievements was the publication of the general theory of employment, interest, and money in the mid-30s. In this work, I challenged the neoclassical economic notions that prevailed at that time, arguing that in recession situations, aggregate demand is the main driver of the economy, not necessarily the supply. I proposed that in times of the economic crisis, the government should intervene to stimulate demand through public spending, even if that meant incurring deficits. This book changed the global economic landscape, giving the state an active role in managing economic crises and laying the groundwork for what would be known as Keynesianism. My ideas were quickly adopted by many Western countries, especially after the devastating Great Depression. Another significant achievement was my role in creating the Bretton Woods system in the mid-20th century. This system set the rules for commercial and financial relations among the world's major industrial economies. I was deeply involved in the discussions that led to the establishment of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. An interesting fact is that, although recognized as one of the great economists of the 20th century, my skills were not limited to economic theory. I was a successful investor and managed the fund of King's College, Cambridge, achieving significant returns during a period of major economic turmoil. I was also passionate about art and even served on the board of the Royal Opera House in London. Although my life was primarily dedicated to economics, I always had a deep appreciation for culture and the arts, and these passions influenced and enriched my worldview. In the mid-20th century, I was at the peak of my career. My influence on the world economy was undeniable, and my theories had reshaped the economic policies of entire nations. But like everyone else, death does not respect achievements or status. I suffered a heart attack, a cruel fate for someone whose heart had passionately beat for economics, and for Lydia, my dear wife. My life was not without tragedies. During World War I became deeply disillusioned with the decisions made in the Treaty of Versailles. Despite my efforts to negotiate better conditions for Germany, I witnessed the imposition of harsh sanctions that, in my opinion, would lay the foundation for future conflicts. This experience left an emotional scar on me and ultimately prompted me to write The Economic Consequences of the Peace, criticizing the decisions made. An interesting note about my final days is that, despite the severity of my condition, I continued working on several projects and kept correspondence with colleagues and friends, showing my unwavering commitment to economics until the end. My legacy goes beyond books and theories. I changed the way the world understands and manages economic crisis and left an indelible mark on the history of economic thought. Although death is inevitable, what one achieves and leaves behind is what truly counts. Thank you for joining me on this journey through my life. If you found it interesting, I invite you to subscribe and continue exploring the lives of other historical figures who have left their mark on our world.